thumbnail says, there is some shifts in plans and some major changes coming out of the aquarium main fish basement and whatever we're going to call this addition over here, because some of you might remember we're building the 12,000 gallon tank in here, but not in this glass room that you see right here, but in the new building that's going to be erected after we tear this glass room off, something that's going to be 2.5 times the size of this room here. So the reason I started here is because the change here is not a change in plans, but a change in time frame. So the money I was going to use to pay for this, can't use it right yet. There's a little, flip of the economy there. Some stuff that was ready to harvest, some equities are now suppressed a little bit, so gotta let them go back up again, and then I'll sell them, and that money will be used for this. So that money was specifically invested for some sort of future big aquarium plan, so it's dedicated to that. This is happening. It's just pushed back a little bit. Fortunately, the GC is a friend of mine, so he's on board with it. He loves what we do here in the aquarium main fish basement and this room, and he's cool about just sliding it back to whenever. As soon as that equity hits the right number, we're going to start this. So not happening, just delayed a little bit. So that room addition and the addition of the 12,000 gallon is not the only shifts and changes, not even by a long shot. There is changes of plans and rearrangement of tanks all throughout the fish basement. And not all of it is just plans. A lot of it is physical too, starting with the tank behind me. We're going to go into it as I redo it, but there's going to be changes, physical changes made to this tank in this video, and I'll explain why. And for anybody who caught the last video, we fired up the 750 gallon Lake Malawi aquarium. We moved all the cichlids over, which means their old aquarium, the 125, is ready for a makeover. And that's going to happen in this video. And here's that 125, and all week I've been pulling little baby and Mbuna out of there, but it looks like I finally got all of them. God dang it. All right, well, I still have more baby fish to move, but this aquarium is getting a complete makeover. Though we are going to keep the pothos and the vines. It's going to be cool. So we're back in the 1,500 gallon salt room, and this is another area where there's going to be a shift in plans. So all of these marine tropical fish, they're still going to the 2,000 gallon lagoon aquarium. Nothing's changing there, but what is going to change is that the 1,500 gallon system is going to stay saltwater. I have some very cool marine predators growing out in the 700 gallon refugium sump, and this is just a much better place to grow out fish for the marine system. A lot easier to interact with them, get them feeding, and keep an eye on them. So we're not changing the 1,500 gallon system. It's staying saltwater. But you might be thinking, wasn't the 600 gallon reef slope here going to turn into the Lake Tanganyikan tank, the deep water Lake Tanganyikan tank? Well, not anymore. That's because it's time to go ahead and finish the other 1,200 gallon aquarium in the annex and make that the 1,200 gallon deep water Tanganyikan aquarium. So as you can see, it is pretty far along. Obviously I need to clean all my junk out and use them for storage, but it's not going to take me that long to get this tank finished. So while there's another delay in the Tanganyikan tank, it's going to be twice as big and hopefully twice as cool. And lastly, since we're going to be growing out the mini marine monsters in the refugium sump on the other side of the wall, that means the tub here can be broken down and we can go ahead and start building the 12-foot long aquarium that we see the base for down at the bottom. So it's time to build the 12-foot long 550 gallon aquarium and the 10-foot long 1,200 gallon aquarium. Let's go. So like I said, there's a lot of changes that are ones that are going to be taking place down the road. There's a lot of physical changes on multiple tanks. They're going to take place in this video. And if you stay to the end, I'm going to tell you about an upcoming video that has been 1.5 years in the making. So it's going to be a special one. I think you guys will enjoy it. And I'm almost done editing it, so it should be out pretty soon. And it's a monster. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Let's talk about this Sharkscape. Alright, so let's start with Predator Bay 3000. This is one of those things we're going to be making physical changes to this tank. So the problem here is that 99% of the time, the sharks, they chill in the caves or they swim gracefully along this 22-foot long, 6-foot front to back, 3,000 gallon aquarium. Everything is fine. But 1 or 2% of the time, they like to make those little things we call shark eggs. Yes, there's more shark eggs. And when they do that, they go pretty crazy, and they're very rambunctious, and they knock everything over. So what you see now with the system I put in place with the milk crates and the PVC pipe across there to try to hold everything up is they don't implode the scape anymore. They just tear it down to the side, all around the sides. And if we come over here, it's even worse over here. Oh, more shark eggs, but yeah, you just see they tear it all down. So my original thing was I piled the rocks up and they would knock them down. Now they knock them backwards because the milk crate doesn't allow them to knock it down. But the reality of it is because of you know, how crazy, how big, how strong they are, and how crazy they get during mating, which seems to happen weekly now, I'm just going to have to simplify the scape. So I'm going to be pulling out all of the PVC pipe, all of the milk crates, all that stuff, and I'm going to make smaller areas of rock where it's just the rock on the sand. Big rocks sticking up something that they really just, there's nowhere for them to knock it down, nowhere for it to go, because it's just that one level. It's going to create more space for these guys to swim around, more room, because there are more things coming to this tank. So that'll be a benefit. And I'll take the extra rock and I'll go around these edges here on the middle, make that look much nicer. And the same thing on the other side. I'll use the extra rock there, make that nicer. And then over here with the eel cave, we're going to build that all the way up. So I'm going to do that on both sides. And as you can see, I got the divider in there. I'm going to start on the right. Hopefully keep the sharks over there on the left, and straighten this side up, then move them over and straighten the other side up, and then we'll take a look and see how it looks. So it's time to check out the forever home of the electric blue Jack Dempsey's, and yes, we are at the 1,200 gallon Amazonian islands, and that is because this is the electric blue Jack Dempsey's forever home. There's actually 3 of them, and they've been living separated, and there's the other 2 males over there. You can see his nose is a little bit because the 2 males like to squabble with each other. And of course the female over here, she's much more chill. But that was in a 20 gallon grow out. Obviously in the 1,200 gallon, they're getting it sorted out. They fought a little bit, but you know, they're figuring out that we got quite a bit of space in here. And I know a lot of you might be thinking, well, 2 things. Isn't this an Amazon aquarium? Why are there electric blue Jack Dempsey's in there? Well, it's because I just love electric blue Jack Dempsey's. I just don't really have a perfect fit for them in any aquarium, and they actually do work here. If you remember my 3,000 gallon, when it was an Amazon aquarium, it had electric blue Jack Dempsey as well. So I guess I bend the rules sometimes when it's a particular fish. And so once again, we're bending the rules for these guys. And the other thing you might be thinking is, aren't they going to eat your little tetras and all that? Well, they never have. So all of these tetra grew up in the same tanks with these electric blue Jack Dempsey. And they were a lot smaller then, and they never bothered them. They've been eating, you know, pellet food forever, and they're just used to it. And I don't know what it is about electric blue Jack Dempsey's, but they are just about 1/100th of the aggression of a regular Jack Dempsey, and they grow really slow. So these guys have been around for years, and as you can see, they're really not that big. Maybe 3 inches for the female and 4 for the male. So I think they will work out in here. And if it doesn't work out, I'll fish them out. But I suspect it will. In my experience, even my big electric blue Jack Dempsey that was in the 3,000 gallon, he didn't eat fish or anything either. He just, you know, ate pellet food, and he was chill. Unless someone bothered him, he was all good. So hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, this will work out nicely. But at any rate, there they are, the latest addition to the 1,200 gallon Amazonian islands. 3 beautiful electric blue Jack Dempsey's. So the other 1,200 gallon, it's all cleared off. All the tools are moved out of the way. We got it all swept up and everything, and we're ready to go ahead and commence construction again on this bad boy. We're not going to be building it in this video, but just getting the canvas ready here to start back up. I'll basically put together a list of some materials I'm going to need, and we'll get rocking and rolling on this. As you can see, the whole frame for the main tank is done. It's just the filter box that I'm still doing the stacking on, and I learned from the other build we're doing all the fiberglass work first in sections, probably even paint it in sections, and then top it off with a last coat over all of it. But it gets hard to work when it's so far down, so going overkill on that glassing and painting as we work it up, but really just building the filter box up and then installing one piece of plywood, which is already cut, and over here, so right here, just on the inside to make it easier to fiberglass the inside, have a smooth surface. So that's really all we got to do to finish the tank. Then of course, you know, we'll do the fiberglassing and the painting of the sealing of the tank. And we've already got the glass sitting over here, so yeah, we're ready to go. There's nothing but some sweat equity is standing in the way between where this tank sits right now and it eventually being a amazing looking 1,200 gallon Lake Tanganyika aquarium. And you know we got plenty of rocks outside, so we're gonna be able to make a nice big tall 4-foot scape in there. Man, this is gonna be something else. Looking forward to this one. Okay, one side has been rescaped, so definitely a lot more open space. You see it's turned up a little bit. We rocked around the water pump over there. We got nice big channels everywhere. We got the eel cave built all the way up, so that's ready to go. Still have some hides, little cave there. There's like a rock overhang there. Some pieces like in between the rocks sort of sticking up. So spots for the grouper that he'll like. That kind of overhang there on the inside. Grouper will like that quite a bit, but still plenty of open space for the shark, so you can sort of tell how much more open that is compared to the big formation here. So I've gone ahead and taken out the middle divider, so as soon as the sharks find their way over to the other side, I'll block them off from this side and start over here. And so far, pulled out 3 more eggs, so let's go around back and get them in the estuary. Okay, so there's the 3 eggs. You got one on top, well, 2 stuck together, then one on the bottom there. So 3 eggs, and what I'm going to do is all the previous eggs stop over here. So I'm going to put the new eggs over in this area of the estuary. I marked down on my chart when I found them, so we have an approximate idea of when they will hatch, but we'll try to separate them as best we can from all those existing eggs. So me and my assistant here are checking out the 125 gallon, figuring out the escape plan. So the deal here is, I think I've finally got all the baby African cichlids out of it. I've been checking and checking and checking and can't find any. So it's finally time to go ahead and escape this tank up, and we'll do that in this video and we'll get it all fired back up. We are keeping the pothos jungle up top. In fact, I've removed the tops, so we're gonna hook those guys up, and we're gonna have even more vines and everything going down into the tank that we already have. That's going to be part of the theme for this tank. Is it's going to be no filter in terms of the sump, so we're going to be tearing out the sump. That'll be gone, getting rid of the overflow, and it's just going to have a canister filter or a hang on the back on this, because we're going to go with little fish. This is going to be my 125 gallon Nano aquarium. And it's all going to be all the little cool fish that I like that I can't really keep in any of my other tanks, because they're too big. They have too many big fish in them. Like overflows. Like these overflow boxes will just suck them down. So this will be the perfect tank for that. It's right across from my desk, so I'll be able to enjoy these little guys because I can see them up close. So I'll do one last pass to make sure there's no leftover fish in there, but it's time to start the scape. I'll get the scape in there, we'll get it filled up, and then I'll show you what the end result looks like. Okay, I know I talked about the predators that were growing out in the refugium here, and you can see there, that's one of them. That's my electric blue, I'm sorry, my blue spot stingray. He's doing great. Basically, took a few days to get him eating, but he's been eating like a champ now, and you can see how thick he is. Hopefully it comes across in video, but he's doing great and feeding well. There's 2 Sri Lankan cat sharks. One of them is poking his head out just the front of that clump of chaeto right there. I really don't want to disturb them. It's taken a while to get them feeding. They're not quite feeding as aggressively as I would like, but they are eating. I check on them. No sunken stomachs or anything, but I want to basically, be real cautious, careful with them. It's a species I've never kept before, so it's a Sri Lankan coral cat shark, or a cat shark, that it's a very dark color, darker than your typical coral cat shark, so should be interesting. But they came in very, very small. They were like literally freshly hatched, so we're gonna give them a little time, but you know, this is part of the reason we're keeping this system in place, the 1,500 gallon system, because it is just an awesome way to grow these guys out. It's easy to interact with them, and it's a perfect footprint for them to grow up. So hopefully in the next video we'll get some footage of the cat sharks, and continued footage of the blue spot continuing to acclimate and everything, and build up some size so we can go into the 3,000 gallon predator bait tank. So you probably never guess it, but these are actually grow outs for Predator Bay 3000. This is a group of 4 French grunts and 3 red belly yellowtail fulicer fish. So these guys are your top water, open water swimmers that stay in a group together. They have awesome colors, and the key thing is they grow big. So the fulicer will grow upwards of 2 feet, and the grunts over a foot. See if any of you guys are really knowledgeable about Malawi peacocks and haps, recognize any of these grow outs, but this is 10 Malawi haps and peacocks that are growing out for the 750 gallon Lake Malawi aquarium. Can't wait to see these guys in there. Right now though, they are tiny. I would have liked to have been able to show you guys the fully rescaped Predator Bay 3000, but we got a couple lazy sharks over here that are just lounging around in the pile of rocks that they made, and they don't really want to move over there. So I need to obviously corral them to the other side, block it off so I can redo all this. And I don't want to delay the video, so next video we'll see this thing fully rescaped once it's feeding time, and I'll make sure the food's on the other side of the tank, so they have to go over there. Well, this was a long time coming, but it's finally here. The debut of the 125 gallon Nano aquarium, and yeah, I know, it's not really a Nano aquarium, but compared to all my other tanks, it is a Nano aquarium. So I guess everything is relative, right? So for me, this is a Nano aquarium, and the reason I'm calling it that is because I'm keeping Nano fish species in it. It's the only tank I have that's suitable for that, where they won't get eaten by bigger fish or sucked into big overflows or big pumps or anything like that. So this tank is specifically made for those guys. So what are we doing here? First of all, we've got what I'm calling like sort of a jungle creekscape, lots of roots coming down into the water from the pothos. We're definitely not getting rid of the pothos. You can see I cut them way back, and I've adjusted the lights and everything over there. So we want to create lots of micro habitats, lots of little spaces that little nano fish can go. We got a big wood cave there. That's a really nice piece. But then basically all through the bottom you've got wood root and vines coming down, and then of course some rocks to you know, make the scape, basically spice up the scape a little bit so it's not just a bunch of wood. And then lastly, something you almost never see in my fish room, a hang on the back filter, an Aqua Clear 110. So we're actually going to run 3 of those, one there, one in the middle. I'm going to move that light over, and I've already moved this light, and then one over here. So why hang on the back filter for me? So it's because I don't want anything that's going to suck up fish. So if I were to rebuild the sump that's under there that I'm going to tear out, I would have to have an overflow box on there, and that sucks up the little fish. I could put canisters on there, but I decided I wanted to do the 3 hang-on backs because they'll create the shimmer with the kessel. So each one will be right underneath the kessel, and we have shimmer on this side, but we'll have shimmer in each section of the fish tank. And then underneath, once I get all that cleaned out, I'm going to redo that, make it very nice, and that could be like a storage area for fish food or equipment or whatever. So that is the plan then. I only have one 110 right now. The other 2 are on order, and they will go in there, and then we will start stocking this with Nano fish species. So tell you what, I mean, it's early on, but I can definitely see the potential. It's right here to my desk, is right here to the left, so it's in a perfect spot to view small fish species like that. And I'm looking fun to stock in this, you know, because it's going to be taking a lot of little fish to fill this up So it's going to be a cool combination. And there's also no theme here in terms of part of the world or anything. It's just going to be all nano fish species that I think work together and that I like to keep, and yeah, that I think will look good in this tank. So here we go. Day one of the 125 gallon Nano aquarium. Okay, so even though some of the plans have changed or have shifted, like kind of a bummer that the 12,000 gallons probably going to be pushed back a few months, but on the other hand, the Lake Tanganyika tank, I think it's going to be a lot better in the 1,200 gallon than it was going to be in the 600 gallon, so I think that's a positive. Also, for people who are interested in the saltwater stuff, keeping the 1,500 gallon system up gives me a lot of tanks there to work with and everything. And of course, growing out the baby sharks and stingrays and that big refugium is a lot easier than anything else. And of course, also I have these other fish growing out in the estuary, so lots of cool things coming to the big salt tanks once they're grown up enough to move in with the big boys. We're going to finish the rescape on Predator Bait 3000 and hopefully, you know, whatever, I don't know, the 12th time's the charm. And then also we're finally going to be able to finish up the annex, you know, the last 1,200 gallon and then the 12-foot long tank, which, you know, I say 550. It could be anywhere from 500 gallons to 700 gallons depending on what shape I ultimately make it. But it will be 12 feet long because I have glass for that, so it's going to be actually pretty cool when that gets done. And then lastly, the thing I was talking about at the beginning of the video is I'm working on a video that is a year and a half in the making. And I've been working on it for quite a while, but it's finally getting closer to the end, so that's why I decided I'd go ahead and mention it. So an upcoming video, we're going to have start to finish building the annex and the 4,500 gallon. Not the full how I build it. That's going to be like a 3-hour video, and that'll be for just diehards. But this is, you know, sort of a expedited walk through the entire thing of building the room, building the tank, you name it. So it's still going to be a huge video. It'll probably be an hour-long video at least. It's massive in scale. We'll see. But it's definitely a lot faster pace than if it were like trying to teach you how to build any of this stuff. Just sort of the highlights. It's just that big of a project that, I mean, it's like hundreds and hundreds of clips. It's crazy. But anyway, so that's a cool one to look forward to. In the near future, right, we got builds good. We got the 1,200 gallon build for the Lake Tanganyika. That's back on the board. We're going to start working on that. Of course, we're still growing out fish for the 750 Lake Malawi. That'll continue to fill in. We're going to fill in 125 gallon Nano aquarium. That's got a lot of filling in to do with fish. Get those other filters on there. So we'll be following that as well. And of course, we'll get the Predator Bait Escape done. So lots to look forward to. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.